mentioned the fact that there are some conditions, health conditions, that are actually associated with old age. They're associated with a particular age from 50 or 55. Okay, and of course, by the time these kind of exercises help to reduce the risk of those health conditions, and even could go further to prevent these health conditions. We also talked about the fact that the benefit of exercise for older adults helps to improve mental and cognitive function. It also reduces stress and anxiety. Okay, reduces stress and anxiety. And last week we talked about OLOT, and of course we couldn't finish up, and I said we're going to continue on this week's edition of Lifestyle. And today on Lifestyle, we want to look at the exercises. I mean, we've laid a foundation with regards to the fact that we've talked about the fact that exercises are good for older people. But now let's look at the kind of exercise or exercises that are actually appropriate for older adults. Because like I said, they can't be involved in strenuous activities, and they can't, kind of engage in activities that, or exercises that we younger ones can actually, do and not feel too, we won't feel any much pain and all of that. But if the older people, we can't tell them to engage in those kind of exercises. Okay, so let's look at, on today's edition of Lifestyle, let's look at the exercises that are appropriate for older adults. All right, so remember I said that they can't be involved in strenuous activities, but they have to be fit. They have to be healthy. And this means that the kind of exercise will be somewhat different from the kind of exercises that young people can engage in. And I mentioned that before. And of course, it should be milder. Okay, milder than younger people's exercise. Okay, so for young people out there listening to me, yes, you want to make sure that your older adults, your parents, your grandparents, your uncles, your aunties get involved in exercises for them to be physically fit. But please, yes, I also mentioned last week that you can also, try to help them in the sense that you can do these things with them. Okay, you can engage in these same exercises with them. Okay, so please don't now say because you want them to, engage in exercises, you now try to give them the kind of exercises that are actually, appropriate for younger people. Please, the exercises are different. But of course, these exercises, younger people can also, engage in these exercises for older adults. In fact, by the time I mention some of these exercises, you would understand what I'm saying. Okay, so it should be milder, please. It should be milder than younger people's exercise, because we want them to be fit. We don't want to add anything. We don't want to make it harmful, okay, harmful to their health. Okay, so also, yes, in looking at the exercises that are appropriate for older adults, we also need to understand each individual, each older adult. Okay, we also need to look at the ability, the capability of that particular adult, okay, of that particular person. Okay, so physical activity for older adults can actually take many forms, actually many forms. So as much as, yes, their exercises are different somewhat, okay, somewhat, because it has to be milder than younger adults or younger people, but they still also can engage in they have several activities they can actually engage in. Okay, one example is walking, and I remember I mentioned on one edition of Lifestyle, when we're talking about exercises, the fact that you need to walk. Okay, so even if you want to give your make an excuse of, I don't really have time to exercise, which I said you shouldn't actually give excuses. Okay, walking is one form of exercise that you can engage in. Okay, you can engage. So even if you're at work, even if you're somewhere and you didn't remember to exercise in the morning, you can just walk. Walking is a form of an exercise that would actually benefit you. Okay, so for older adults too, older adults can actually engage in walking. Okay, they can engage in walking. They can engage in swimming. Yes, swimming. And I feel like in this part of the world, especially in Nigeria, many older adults don't actually pay attention to swimming. Okay, they feel like, it's for young people. Young people should be the ones to, engage in something like that. But actually, this is a good form of exercise for our older adults. Okay, so this is something that younger people can actually engage in with the older adults. Okay, so you can actually do something for your parents, for for your auntie, your uncle, your grandparents. You can take them swimming, and of course, you need, for those who do not know how to swim, you can actually be there with them, put them through, engage in these things with them so that they can actually encourage them to do these things. So even if you're not with them, okay, they can always engage in these things rather themselves. So it's not like there will be anybody to, ginger or motivate them. But of course, you need to, at this first instance, start these things with them, engage in these things with them, always encourage them. So when it gets to a point, they don't exactly need ginger or any sort of motivation anymore. They'll do it on their own. These exercises are actually simple. They are less strenuous and they are simple. And I mean, swimming is something that is enjoyable. You can always enjoy. I mean, people do these things. People swim for fun. So they just say, oh, I want to hang out. Or it's even possible that some people actually, for their birthdays, special days, give themselves treats and all of that. They take themselves swimming. So, I mean, as much as yes, you have fun while swimming, is also a form of an exercise that's beneficial to your health. Okay, so please incorporate swimming. It's a good form of exercise for our older adults. Okay. So daddies, mommies listening right now, please make sure that you are walking. Make sure that you try to incorporate swimming. Okay, swimming is a good form of exercise. Stretching. I know we sort of engage in this unconsciously. Yeah, unconsciously. So it's possible that, especially when you notice that you sat down for a long time and then you stand up, if you find yourself stretching, then you realize that it's a way for you to know that you sat down for too long. You sat down for too long. You can't live a sedentary life. Because there are many people who they just keep sitting, they don't engage in physical things for them to, be fit. And so they just keep sitting. So when you stand up and you notice that you're stretching and your body, your muscles, your bones are making sounds, you should know that should give you a note or warning that you've sat down for too long. Okay, so stretching is a form of an exercise. When you wake up in the morning, it's a good way to just stretch. And it's easy. I mean, it's easy, something that's very easy. So when older adults, mommies, daddies, and everyone listening to me, when you wake up in the morning, it's something that you can do, just stretch. When you sit, you stand, stretch. Stretching is an easy form of exercise. Okay, and you see that it's not strenuous. Okay, another form of exercise which I've mentioned before is dancing, and this is actually good for everybody. Whether you are 10 years, whether you are 2 years, whether you are 68 years or even 100 years. Dancing is a very good form of exercise. And I've said it is a way to just relax your muscles. It's a way to just, relieve yourself too. Many times you say dance away your sorrow. So it's a good way to actually, have fun. Yeah, just like swimming, and also, have some sort of benefits for your body, for your muscles. So dance. I know that there are some sessions that are actually good for older adults where different people can actually, watch, where you can watch activities of a group or a session of people who they are involved in different kinds of exercises. So you can watch that on your TV, watch that. You can have download it and then watch it and also engage in those kind of exercises. Those people you see doing, okay, you see them doing it, you can also do it. And you can do that, every day. You can do that when you feel like, oh, I should exercise. You can do that twice in a week, 3 times in a week, just to make sure that you're physically fit. Now, I'm talking to our older adults, our daddies, our mommies, okay, our grandparents, okay. These are things we need to pay attention to. Okay, let's pay attention to these things. And of course, I mentioned walking before. Walking is so easy. Is so easy. In the night or in the evening rather, we can just make sure to encourage our daddies and mommies and say, oh, mommy, let's stroll together. Stroll around the estate, stroll around, let's just go to the main road. Let's just stroll beside the road to a particular place, and then we'll stroll back. It's beneficial. It would help. It would actually help. Okay, so we've mentioned swimming, we've mentioned stretching, we've mentioned walking, we've also mentioned dancing. Okay, hiking, okay, is also something that our older adults can actually engage in. But of course, for those who have never done it before, just like swimming, they need help, they need guide. Okay, so you need to please guide them. And of course, there are ways we can also learn. We can learn these things, okay, and engage in them. Cycling, okay, we can also get involved in cycling. And like I said, in this part of the world, many of our older adults, our mommies and daddies, do not see it as something that they need to do. they believe that it's like always we should leave it for our younger people. They are the ones that should do it. No, please, this is a good form of exercise that can actually be beneficial for you. Okay, so cycling is something you can just get a bicycle that is what's it called, the size of an adult, not a younger person size. Okay, size of an adult, and try it out. Okay, and of course you have children that can actually put you through, help you try it out, and you see that you start seeing the effects, of course, positive effect of these things. And of course I mentioned exercise sessions where you can download some of these things. You watch how older adults are involved in some things, and these sessions can actually help you, because they will give you exercises that, of course, that are appropriate for older adults that you can actually engage in, that will be beneficial to you. And a study of adults over the age of 65 found that walking at least 4 hours a week, 4 hours a week, that's a study now, 4 hours a week, reduce the risk of cardiovascular disease hospitalization. So see, as simple as walking is, it has huge benefits. Okay, I mean, a study of adults over the age of 65 found that walking at least 4 hours a week reduced their risk of cardiovascular disease hospitalizations, because walking can actually help your heart. Okay, it can help the heart. All right, so it can help the flow of blood too when you walk. Okay, and of course, it's very important that we actually pay attention to some of these things. They're actually simple, and they're things that we can actually do. Okay, and they are less strenuous. Okay, younger people can actually also, engage in these activities. Older people can do these things. I mean, these are exercises that are appropriate for older adults. So, I mean, it will help. It will really help. So, children at home, young ones, please try to encourage mommy, daddy, grandmom, granddad, even if they are as old as 80 years, 85, 90. Try to, encourage them. You can gift them these things, let's go swimming, but of course be there to guide them. Okay, let's stroll. Okay, let's stretch, let's dance. Okay, let's walk. These are things that can actually be beneficial and help them, and can also, help their health and make them fit. By the time you see your granddad fit at the age of 85, 90, you will be proud. Yes, you will. Okay, so it's very, very important. Okay, it's very important. I've mentioned the fact that, please, as much as, yes, we want to make sure that our older adults are fit, let's make sure they're not involved in strenuous activities. And that's why I've mentioned the activities that are actually appropriate for our older adults. Let me go through it again so that, we can actually keep remembering. Okay, walking, swimming. Okay, so Falakemi, take your mom swimming. It's actually very good for her. She would actually enjoy it, and of course it's going to be beneficial for her health. Swimming, stretching. Okay, stretching. And of course I mentioned the fact that when you notice that you are stretching when you sit, and you notice you are stretching and your bones are making sounds, your body is making sounds, then you should understand or know that you sat down for too long. So please make sure that you are not sitting for too long. Make sure that you are involved in physical activities to make sure that you are physically, and not just physically. Okay, these exercises will also help your mental health, not just your physical health. Okay, so walking, swimming, stretching, dancing. Okay, gardening too. Gardening, but how many of us have gardens in our houses, in our compounds, and then you want to get involved in gardening? Okay, so it might not exactly for you. If you have gardens in your houses, okay, of course gardening is also a good form of exercise. Hiking, cycling. Okay, don't leave cycling for younger people, please. Our older adults, our mommies and daddies, please, you can also do these things. Okay, of course with guide, especially when you've not done it before. With guide. So it's very, very important. So our younger people, when you're trying to make sure that our older adults are getting involved in these exercises, make sure that, and of course they've not done these things before, so they have to start from a very short duration. So for somebody who has never been involved in exercises before, who has been living a sedentary life, for older adults from the age of 50 now, and they've been living a sedentary lifestyle before, the only thing they do is enter their car, go to work, sit all day in front of the computer, or sit all day doing their work, and then when they are done, they close at maybe 5 or thereabouts. They go inside their cars, drive back home, and the only distance to get to work is very, very short. From they park inside the compound, come down from the car, enter the house. So it's like less than 10 steps. And the only time they get to even walk is they walk around in the house. And they don't even get to walk around in the house because they're sitting in front of the TV or in their rooms, sitting on the bed, sitting on the chair. They're not exactly getting involved in physical activities that can actually help their muscles and help their health. Okay, so we need to, by the time our older adults are getting involved in these things, they need to start from a shorter duration. So it could be from, say, 5 to 10 minutes of walking, 5 to 10 minutes of dancing, 5 to 10 minutes of hiking or cycling. Okay, and then from there, you move up the ladder, increase it to 20, 25 minutes, increase it to 30 minutes a week, a day. Okay, so it's very important that, they understand these things because it's actually going to help. We don't want these things to, affect you negatively or be harmful to you. So you need to start these things gradually. Even when you go swimming, okay, make sure that you incorporate swimming maybe twice a month to start with. And of course, make sure that there's somebody with you to guide you, especially if you've not swam before, to guide you and put you through, because we're not saying something else. Okay, so please, it's very, very important. And please, I want our younger ones to also pay attention to these things. Okay, you can give to your mom, give to your dad some of these things. Oh, let's stroll, and then you talk with them. Let's swim, and you're also involved in this. It will actually encourage our older adults. And I mean from 50 to 100 or even more than that. They can actually be involved in these things. And of course, we need to pay attention to each person's capacity, each person's ability in some of these things. But these are simple activities that I believe every older adult can actually, engage in, and it is actually beneficial and it would help. Okay, there are aerobic activities. Okay, the intensity of aerobic activity takes into account the older adult's aerobic fitness. Okay, there are aerobic activities that the older adult can also, engage in. Now, activities that maintain or increase flexibility are recommended. So, activities that increase flexibility. As we grow older, a whole lot of things happen to our bodies, to our muscles, to our bones. So, it's either for somebody who has been living a sedentary lifestyle, it could your bones could be rigid, your muscles can be rigid because you're not involved in physical activities. So your bones and muscles are rigid. And that's why I mentioned stretching. When you stretch more, it will help your muscles, it will help your bones. Okay, it will help every part of your body. So please, our older adults, get involved in activities that can maintain and increase your flexibility, because these are actually recommended, especially to reduce or prevent immobility. Immobility is something that is associated with old age. Accidental falls are also associated with old age. If you notice, they are associated with old age. Now, balance exercises are recommended for older adults at risk of falls. So you need to get involved in balance exercises. If you notice that you fall, you find yourself, balanced, you fall a lot, you get involved in accidental falls, then balance exercises are actually very, very, very good for you. Aerobic exercises are also very good for our older adults. Okay, now I know that, like I mentioned earlier, there are health conditions that are associated with old age: accidental falls, immobility, dementia. Okay, dementia is also one health condition associated with older people. But it's very important that when you get engaged in these exercises, it will also help your mental health. It will help your mental functions and cognitive functions. So you won't, be at risk of dementia. Yes, you won't be at risk of dementia. And of course, when you start exercising from now, I'm talking to younger people right now. You start exercising from now. It would help reduce a whole lot of risk that you could face when you grow older. And when you get to, the age of 50, say from 45, from 50, 55 and above, okay, it would help you. Okay? So we need to also know that staying active, for older adults, staying active, and also young ones listening, this is also beneficial for everybody, actually. So please remember that when you stay active, you get engaged in exercises, it actually helps improve your sleep. It improves your strength. Okay, it improves your strength, especially when you notice that you're always tired. You're 50, you're 55, our older adults, our mommies, daddies, you are tired at every small work you do. Please, I want you to understand the fact that you've not been exercising. So when you realize that you do something now, you're tired. You do something for 5 minutes, you're tired. Please, you need to understand that should be that should let you know that you've not been engaging in physical activities. You've not been engaging in exercises as you should. Okay, so engaging in physical activities and exercises improves your sleep. It improves your strength. It improves your flexibility and circulation, blood circulation. And I mentioned earlier that when you walk, it will help your blood circulation. It will also help your heart. Okay, so involving in exercises, it's a great way to boost mood and self-esteem. Okay, it would help boost your mood and self-esteem. It's very, very important. I mentioned accidental fall before. Every year, according to study, approximately 30% of adults older than 65 years experience at least one fall. Okay, 30% of adults older than 65 years experience at least one fall. So exercise has been shown to be effective in reducing the number of falls and the number of injuries from fall. So you can do these things at home too. I mentioned strolling, walking. These things are simple forms of exercises that our older adults can actually, engage in. Okay, with these few points of mine, I hope I've been able to convince you and not confuse you that exercises, our older adults need to engage in exercises, physical activities. Please, let's not allow our mommies and daddies, our aunties and uncles live a sedentary lifestyle. Our grandparents too. Let's not allow them live a sedentary lifestyle. They need to engage in activities. And of course, when they are physically fit, you would also like it. Yeah, you will like it. Okay. This is where I'll call it a day on today's edition of Lifestyle. I must say thank you so much for joining me on this edition. And I hope you've learned one or two. If not just two, you've learned many things with regards to activities for older adults. And I hope that we get to engage in these things. Okay, it's very, very important and beneficial to our health. All right, keep living a healthy lifestyle. Make sure you have a balanced lifestyle. Esther Atilola is saying, make sure you have a great Thursday. Bye.